What's up everybody, Circus here with the leftovers. In this video series we like to take a look at the cards you end up getting when you go into a box trying to get the cards that you do want. In this video we're going to be looking at the Burning Abyss archetype from the Antinomic theory box. Typically with the leftovers what I like to do is make auto dueling decks out of them. Usually the archetypes are kind of like half finished, so they can't be very competitive. They're not good on the ladder, so I like to just make auto dueling decks out of them and then see how good of a deck I can make. I never really played the TCG, so this is a new archetype for me, so I did some quick research. The archetype is based on Dante's Inferno. The cards are named after the Malebranche, I think that's how you say it, the demons that guard the 8th circle of hell from the book. Some real scary stuff there, right? Competitively, it looks like that Burning Abyss is a strong archetype for many years in the TCG. Yu-Gi-Oh! Fandom says that the deck is probably one of the most powerful and resilient decks in Yu-Gi-Oh's history, being competitively viable for nearly its entire existence, a staggering 4.5 years of near continuous use at top events. I don't think that's going to be the case in Duel Links. It seems that we have about half of the archetype, and some of the cards that are missing have great effects, but I don't think we'll be seeing them anytime soon. So that being said, let's see what we can do with these leftovers. Burning Abyss is a ritual archetype, so that already puts us at a disadvantage. To successfully pull off the ritual summon, we're going to need the ritual monster, the correct amount of tributes, and the ritual spell itself. This is my least favorite type of deck to build. We can see that there's 7 cards from the new box for the archetype, 5 monsters, 1 spell, and 1 trap. We're going to take a look at them, and we're going to start with the monsters. Malakota, Netherlord of the Burning Abyss, is the boss monster. It's a ritual monster that must be summoned using good and evil in the Burning Abyss. That's the ritual spell, and it cannot be summoned by other ways. It also has a nice effect that during the battle, you can send 1 Burning Abyss monster card from your hand to the graveyard, then target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls until the end of this turn. That target loses the attack and defense equal to the attack and defense of the Burning Abyss monster sent to the graveyard. And its last effects is that if this card is sent from the field to the grave, you can target 1 card on the field and send it to the graveyard. So this card has pretty nice effects, it's just a pain to summon. Now all the rest of the monster cards have 3 things in common. First, they're all level 3. Second, if you control another monster that is not Burning Abyss, you have to destroy it. And then third, if you control no spell or traps, you can special summon them from your hand. And then each one has a unique effect. And you're going to have to bear with me as I try to get these names right here. Babar can banish up to 3 Burning Abyss cards in your grave except itself and do 150 points of damage per card banished. If Kagna is sent to the grave, it can send 1 Burning Abyss spell trap from the deck to the grave. If Droghig is sent from the grave, you can choose 1 Burning Abyss card from your deck and place it on top of your deck. And finally, if Libic is sent to the grave, you can special summon 1 Dark Fiend type monster from your hand, but its effects are negated. Now, a lot of the wording says if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can use this effect, and that includes if they're used for a ritual summon, which is great because we need those effects to help the deck function. Alright, and now for the ritual spell, Good and Evil in the Burning Abyss. This card is used to ritual summon the boss monster. You must also tribute monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal 6 or more, so that's nice. They don't have to be exact. During your main phase, except the turn this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard and send 1 Burning Abyss monster from your hand to the graveyard and add 1 Burning Abyss card from your deck to your hand. The computer loves to misplay this card a lot. So, and then you can only use it once per turn, okay? And then the trap, target any number of Burning Abyss monsters in your graveyard that were sent there this turn, special summon them in defense. You can only activate the Traveler in the Burning Abyss once per turn. Alright, let's take a look at the deck. One of the rules I have is that I try to use as many cards from the new box as possible. This was my first iteration. It's a pure build. I like to see what the deck can do on its own. I used 3 of each card from the archetype except for the trap, which is at 2. With so many monsters in the deck, ritual summoning was easy. The third effect on each card made it possible to get the components needed. I used the Power of the Dark skill because it boosts the monsters by 200 attack points, which is desperately needed. It would prevent the AI from special summoning multiple monsters on 1 turn, but that didn't seem to be much of an issue. I did try it without the skill, and the extra 200 attack came in clutch more than special summoning multiple monsters on 1 turn would. Overall, bricks could happen and the AI couldn't get the pieces it needed to ritual summon. This deck won about 8 out of 10 games, so I wanted to try to improve it. This is my second attempt at the deck. Again, I'm trying to use as many cards as I can from the new box, but I did, however, mix in some staple back row. I used some discard traps hoping that the AI would discard monsters and gain their effects. This wasn't always the case. You can see the deck could have terrible bricks, and the AI is really good at robbing itself of resources. The win rate on this one was terrible. It was 5 out of 10. In this last attempt, I changed out the back row to see what would happen. I added 3 Wall of Disruption and 2 Floodgate. I removed the 3 Cogna because the AI liked to misplay using the secondary effect of sending a spell or trap card to the grave. It would send the ritual spell to the grave even if it really needed it. The extra traps helped the deck defend itself until I could draw into the combo pieces. It wasn't perfect, but it did perform better. It won 9 out of 10 games. Overall, the deck is good as an auto duel deck, but it's not great in its current form. Again, I try to use as many cards from the new box as possible for these videos. Antinomic Theory didn't have a lot of standalone spells and traps like Treacherous Trap Hole or Karma Cut. I did briefly try using Mystical Space Typhoon, but the AI loved to take out the Yami Field spell if there was nothing else on the board to hit. If you really want to improve the deck, you could try using Senju or Sonic Bird or something like that, but personally, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this deck in the future. However, if this deck gets more support, it could be a very strong competitive deck, but as it is now, I would rank it as a 6 out of 10 as an auto duel deck. So that's it for this edition of The Leftovers. Let me know what you think of the deck and what you would do with it to improve it, and let me know what you like to do with your leftovers.